Good night, world. It's Ivan Omer here. This is going to be a very interesting video here. Like I said, you guys better fucking enjoy this series while you can. As I already contacted the company, they're gonna in a couple of days from now, my book will be formatted, and I'll make that Phase 6 announcement. And I'll show you guys what. I'll show you guys my map and the format layout on my book on my 3 volumes. And once my book's formatted, my book is ready to be released on Lulu. My wife will be joining for joy while you guys will panic your ass out because you know the countdown's ticking. You only have what 3 videos left, 2 videos left into my file now. So yeah, I'll pump out a few side videos. Like once I make my Phase 6 announcement and I show you guys my map and the layout of my book on my stepbrother's laptop, my wife will be joining for joy. So you guys will panic your asses off. I'll probably make a few side videos, and sometime in September I'll make the Swimming with the Sharks. So you're looking at a very interesting video for that. I'm gonna talk about Amazon. I do not like the Sharks debut. Skysys gets 60, Amazon gets 40 for the posters and the 4K Blu-ray movies sold on Amazon. I'm also going to talk about how do not let Hollywood actors do because none of them are worth a piece of you and your wife's royalties. So for the top ace actors to keep them happy, you pay them a lot of money, obviously. You pay them a fat bonus. Like guys like Keanu Reeves or Will Smith or Tom Hanks, they're in my movie. I'd be willing to pay them with the bonus at 38 to like 44 million range, which is a lot of money. 37 to like 44 million range, even 50 million range. If I'm casting one guy, if I cast one guy, I can even pay him 50 million. I can pay him a $20 million bonus and a $30 million salary at the start of production. So if Will Smith was in my movie and I only casted one big actor, I'd be willing to even pay him 50 million. Only if I'm casting one guy. Whereas I'm casting 2 guys or 3 guys, chances are they're going to make that 38 million range around there. 38, 37, 40 million range, like around there, because you got to watch it for your budget, obviously. And so I'm going to have to put more money into the movie. My organizational movie, I'm going to put probably a good 650 to 670 towards the movie. That way I have more room to pay the big. Because for the organizational movie, I want to cast 3 big actors. That way. Whereas Zanus, there's no big actors for Zanus, but there's just smaller A-listers. But for the organizational movie, I'm going to cast a good like 3 big actors, and I'll cast a good 4 to like 5 smaller A-list actors, and I'll probably have some room for some B-listers. I'll have a few spots open for a couple B-listers as a major role for the organization where you pay those guys like 2.5 million. And everyone else, the minor characters, you pay that like $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 range, whatever it is. $250,000, $150,000 range, depending on how big they are. If they're only in like 2-3 scenes, I'll pay them like $100,000 or something, $150,000 or something. Whereas if they're in a couple more scenes, you can pay those guys like $400,000 or $500,000, which is a nice paycheck for a minor role, obviously. Right, so you guys better fucking enjoy this as much as you can. The series is soon coming to an end, man. Late October, early November, I'm going to make the final now, so I'm going to let my family know. So once I make that Phase 6 announcement, my wife will be joining for joy as my book is now ready to be released on Lulu. I have the keys, since I'm going to make my billions, obviously, my multi-billions, my $9 billion. Looking at $9 million for my book sales. It's my wife will be loaded. And what? I'm gonna enjoy my last 2 checks. I get my last check in the end of September. So I'm gonna enjoy my last two $1,500 check, whatever it is. I'm gonna enjoy my $1,500 check for the next 2 months. And then late October, I'm gonna enjoy my extra government checks I'm gonna get. My $170 government check I'm gonna get on top of that, obviously my extra government checks. I'm gonna enjoy myself. Next month, I'm going to get like drunk. I'm going to get 12 beers and a pack of smokes and celebrate. My wife will probably celebrate. She'll get drunk too. But she now knows, oh my God, Ivan's book is formatted. It's ready to be released on Lulu. He has the keys. He'll make his billions. He can now see me, and she's going to jump for joy. Obviously, well, you guys are going to pack your asses off. And once I find out how wicked you really are, we try and we share in death. I didn't do anything wrong. I choose death. I'm not going to do my dad. I come back from death. Now when me and my wife King and Queen, you're now left behind. I'm going to start Skysys. I'm going to make that amazing Last of Us movie, and you guys will be left behind. All those lucky chosen actors are obviously lucky chosen few because they're going to get to experience success and fame with Ivan and VJ. So for this video, you're looking at a very interesting, unique video. I'm going to talk about the box office. I remember when I made my box office video in my you guys all remember my box office video that I made. I made a few errors in that video about the box office. I did some due diligence, and I'm going to talk in depth about the box office in Hollywood. I'm also going to talk about I'm also gonna mention why a lot of you B-list actors, the big Hollywood studios are rejecting you guys because you guys cannot sell your movies well. Hence why they're rejecting you as a companies in Hollywood are taking a huge risk with their movies. As they have to you have to understand, even though the Hollywood companies are rich, the Hollywood companies they take loans. They take loans from the bank to fund their movies. Right? Hence, they have to pay off that loan. Hence, why I'm going to talk about the box office. I'm also going to talk about how my last Xenius movie is going to take out Avengers easily. Avengers did 2.7 billion for my box office for what? My box office for Last of Us Xenius, you're looking at 11 to 12 billion dollars. 11, 12, even 13 billion, 12 billion dollars around there. If I'm releasing it in other in subtitles, you're looking at like 12.5 billion dollars in the box office. So you guys better enjoy the series while you can because this series is almost ending. And once I'm king, I'm not making any videos for it. So I want you to heed my fucking warning because you guys somehow think after causing mess in my life and killing me and not talking about it, I'm going to make videos for it. I'm not going to do like that. Once I make that final announcement at the end of October, early November, and let my family know when I find out how wicked you guys really are, that is the last time you're ever going to hear from Ivan Mayer. I'm going to keep saying that. So this video I'm going to talk about, it's going to be called The Box Office. You can't see the black wall. I'm going to switch to blue here. Give me a sec here. Right? So I'm going to talk about an in-depth study about the box office. You better fucking enjoy this video while you can. So I did some due diligence, and I made a few errors in my last what? In my last box office video when I talk about profits and all this stuff. I'm going to talk about the box office in Hollywood. Okay, how it works. And how the system works. So first I'm going to say this. What is a box office, obviously? So a box office, what is a box office? Right? A box office is pretty much what movie sales. Movie ticket sales are. It could be movie ticket sales, it can be Blu-ray sales, it can be DVD sales. Box office is essentially movie ticket sales. Movie ticket sales for a movie, obviously. That's what a box office is. So whenever you see a movie grossing a certain amount of money, that's an example of a movie box office in Hollywood, obviously. So first I'm going to talk about profit, sales, and cost. So what is cost? In every business, you have cost, you have sales, and you have profit. Okay? You have cost, you have sales, and you have profit. I'm talking about profit spelled in F. I spelled profit wrong. Yeah, profit spelled with an F. Yeah. You have costs, you have sales, and you have profit. And now I'm going to tell you why. To all you business actors out there, I'm going to tell you why the companies are rejecting you. You guys already know. It's because you guys can't sell your movies well, and the companies are taking huge risks with their movies. Hence why I'd rather sign an established A-list actor who has star power than sign a nobody B-list actor who can't sell his movies. Hence why the B-list actors are going to stay in television for the rest of your life, obviously. So you have cost, you have sales, and you have profit. So what is cost? Cost. This is the Ivan Mayer definition. I'm going to keep it simple here. Cost is what? Cost is the amount of money spent to get your product to the public. That's the Ivan Mayer definition, obviously. I'm gonna break it down to keep it simple for you guys. So cost is the amount of money spent to get your product to the public. So the Hollywood companies, they obviously have to what? They have to spend money to fund their movie, obviously, and pay the Hollywood actors and the crewmen, as well as advertise the movie. They have to spend money to get their movie out there to the public, obviously. That's cost. Sales is what? The amount of money made from what? From product being bought. Being bought. That's the Ivan Mayer simple definition. Being bought. Right? So you have costs. So the Hollywood companies, they what? They spend money to get their movies out there and to pay their actors and the crew and all that stuff. And the sales is the amount of money from the product being bought. The amount of money made from the product being bought. So a perfect example of sales is the box office. whenever you see a movie's box office, that's sales, obviously. That's sales. The amount of money made from the product being bought. And profit is what? Is the difference from what your costs, obviously. The profit is a difference from your costs. It's the difference from your costs. From the costs, obviously. So profit is pretty much money made after the cost is taken care of. So I'm going to talk about that later on and in that video about what? About the box office and Hollywood, obviously. So what is a box office? Very briefly. A box office is movie ticket sales for a movie, obviously, pretty much. That's the Ivan definition. The cost is the amount of money spent to get your product to the public. So the Hollywood companies obviously have to spend hundreds of millions of dollars or dozens of millions of dollars to make their movie, obviously, and to pay the Hollywood actors and to obviously pay the crewmen and to advertise their movie. They have to what? Spend a certain amount of money to get their movie out there to the public, obviously. Sales is pretty much the box office. It's the amount of money made from the product being bought, hence ticket sales, right? And profit is a difference from the cost. So profit is what? Is a difference from your cost. Profit is when what? You make money after the cost is taken care of. So for a Hollywood movie, all the Hollywood companies obviously expect to make profits from their movies, obviously. Hence what? Hence whenever they make money after the cost is taken care of, the Hollywood companies are now what? They're now profitable. They're making what? They're making money. They're making profit, obviously. Right? So I hope you guys get an idea what I'm talking about here when I talk about the box office here. What was I going to talk about? I forget what I was going to mention before. Obviously. Right, so I thought that was pretty cool. 11 minutes here. I thought that was pretty cool to mention that about the box office one. I'm going to keep saying this. All the Hollywood films, I'll say big film studios, okay? Are taking a risk with their movies, obviously. Right? They're taking a huge risk with their movies, obviously, as they have to what? They have to what? They have to borrow money from the bank. As a whole, these Hollywood investors don't have hundreds of millions. These Hollywood investors, they're not me. They don't have the kind of money like me where I can just fund it myself. The Hollywood film studios have to borrow money from the bank, man. They have to borrow money. They have to borrow money from the bank to what? To fund their what? I'm talking about big budget movies here. They're big budget movies, obviously. Hence, they're taking a risk. Right? Hence, they are what? They are taking a risk with their money, obviously. The companies are all taking a risk with their money. Hence why they reject the B-listers. Hence why they what? They consistently reject the B-listers. Right? Why? Because the B-listers are skilled but lack iconicness to sell their movies well. Most of them. There's I don't know, there's a good like 0.5% of these actors who can sell their movies, but the ones who can sell their movies are the ones who have a chance of being an A-list actors. But the ones who can't sell their movies, chances of them being an A-list actor is very, very slim. Because the B-listers are skilled but lack icons to sell their tickets, obviously. Hence why they consistently reject the B-listers, because they are what? The big studios are taking a risk, man. And I hope that all you B-listers understand why the big studios are rejecting you guys. Because these Hollywood companies are taking a huge risk with their movies, obviously. The big studios are taking what? A huge risk with their movies. Hence, because they're taking a huge risk with their movies, because the A-list actors are proven that they can deliver and make profits to companies, they're most likely gonna sign the A-list actors as they dominate the market, and they have they have stability in the Hollywood system and for selling tickets. Whereas the B-list actors are not proven. A lot of them are not proven actors for the show business. Hence why they reject them constantly. So big studios are taking a huge risk with their with their movies, obviously. Hence why they reject So I hope you B-list actors listen to what I'm saying here, okay? All the Hollywood big film studios are taking a risk with the movies. So all these B-list actors are probably wondering why. I don't understand why these Hollywood companies won't sign me. I'm such an amazing actor. I keep telling you, it's because they're taking a huge risk with their movies. The A-list actors dominate the market as well too, obviously. And the B-list actors are skilled but lack confidence. So all the Hollywood big film studios are taking a risk with their movies. They have to borrow money from the bank to fund their big budget movies. Hence, they are taking a risk with their money. Hence why they consistently reject the B-listers. Why? Because the B-listers are skilled but lack iconics to sell their tickets. Hence, the big studios are taking a huge risk with their movies. Hence why they turn to the A-list actors. The A-list actors are their hope, obviously. They turn to the established A-listers. Because the A-listers are proven. So the reason why a lot of the big budgets, a lot of the Hollywood studios, they turn to the A-list actors, because the A-list actors are already proven in the industry. The Hollywood studios know they can sell their tickets to make profit for the companies. Hence why they all sign the A-list actors. Whereas the B-list actors are not proven in the show business. They're good. They're proven they're proven in the television business, but they're not proven in the show business. As for television, you only need a good 1 million to 700,000 viewers, and that's enough to keep a show on the air. Whereas for tickets, you need to sell tens of millions of tickets to make the companies their profit, obviously. So all the Hollywood big film studios are taking a risk with their movies. They have to borrow money from the bank. These investors don't have money lying around. No, they have to invest. They have to borrow money from the bank. Whereas I don't have to borrow money from the bank. I can just fund the movie myself because I'm special. Obviously, I'm the king. I'm king, obviously. But these big companies, they have to borrow money from the bank to fund their big budget movies. Hence, they are taking a risk with their money. Hence, why they consistently reject the B-listers. Why? Because the B-listers are skilled but lack icons to sell their tickets. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just saying that's a fact, man. Okay, I don't mean to be an asshole. A lot of these B-list actors, you're not going to see them as A-list actors because they can't sell their movies well. They're good for television because they're skilled actors. In television, you only need 500,000 to 1 million views to stay on the air. Whereas for movies, you need to sell tens of millions of tickets to make the profit for their companies, depending on the budget of the movie. I'll talk about it later on. Hence why they consistently reject the B-listers. Why? Because the B-listers are skilled but lack icons to sell their tickets. The big studios are taking a huge risk with their movies. Hence, they turn to the established A-listers because the A-listers are proven. They're proven in the industry. Whereas the B-list actors are not proven in the show business. They're proven in the television business, hence why they get a lot of television offers, obviously. But they're not proven in the show business. They're proven in the business. Hence why the A-listers, The A-listers dominate the market, obviously, and the rising stars. But essentially, the A-listers dominate the market. And there's very little room for the B-list actors. Hence why they're all doing television. And the A-list actors, because they're proven in the business, they dominate the market, and hence why the big Hollywood film studios sign all the big A-list actors, because those actors, they're proven and they can all deliver. They can all sell their movies and make profits to their companies. Obviously, yes, A-list actors have flops. All A-list actors probably had a few flops in their career. My point is, they can all deliver and they're all proven. They can all make profits for the companies. Hence why they're A-list actors. Whereas the B-list actors can't make profits for their companies because they can't sell their tickets well. Their movie tickets well. Their independent movies are all flops. They're good for television, but they're not good for the show business. I hope you guys get an idea what I'm talking about here. My mark is running out. Right? Let's try purple here. Because last time I tried green, you couldn't see it, all right? I'm never using green again. I'll try purple. Because my black marker and blue marker are running out. So I hope you guys, I'm going to reiterate this again. All the Hollywood film studios are taking a risk with their movies. You keep that in mind. So all you B-list actors who complain, I don't understand why these companies don't give me a chance. Please keep in mind that the big Hollywood film studios are taking a risk with their movies, right? They have to borrow money from the bank to fund their big budget movies. These investors, these investors in Hollywood, they don't have hundreds of billions lying around their account. No, they have to borrow money from the bank to fund their big budget movies. Whereas I don't have to borrow money because I can just fund it myself, obviously, because I'm king, obviously. My wife's king with me. Hence, they are taking a risk. What you saying? They're taking a risk with their what? With their money, obviously. I always forget to write stuff. Hence, why they consistently reject the B-listers. Why? Because the B-listers are skilled but lack icons to sell their tickets. The big studios are taking a huge risk with their movies. Hence, they turn to the established A-listers who are proven in the business. And the A-listers dominate the market, and that's a fact, man. That's a fucking fact. B-listers can't sell their movies well. Hence, why 99% of them you're gonna see them as what? As B-list actors in television. Whereas a good 1% of them are going to be the lucky chosen ones who will become A-list actors in the future, obviously. Because obviously there's a few B-list actors who are the lucky chosen. The studio takes a chance on some of them, obviously. If the studio chooses a B-list actor and he takes a chance on a B-list actor and your movie's a hit, and that B-list actor is obviously one of the lucky ones. Like Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf is a perfect example of one of the lucky chosen. Chris Hemsworth is a perfect example of one of the lucky chosen. They were nobodies, and once Chris Hemsworth landed Thor, he became big. Once Shia LaBeouf landed Transformers, the movie was a huge hit, and that launched Shia LaBeouf's career, and now he's an A-list actor. That's how perfect example of a B-list actor becoming an A-list actor. So if you're a B-list actor who can sell your independent movies pretty well, you're probably one of the lucky chosen ones, lucky few who might have a chance of being an A-list actor. Or you might be one of those B-list actors who can't sell his movies very well. The studio still takes a chance on you, and your movie's a hit. And you're one of the lucky ones, all of a sudden you have a successful career. But I told you, your chances are what? 1%, man. I'm estimating here, 1% chance of that happening, man. As the A-listers dominate the market. They dominate the market. I'm going to keep saying that. Obviously. Right? Let's say this. The big film studios like Disney, Warner Bros., Paramount, Universal, they are all what? Money hungry. They're all money hungry people, obviously. Right? They want to make profits. They want to make profit, obviously, for all their movies. They want their movies to all be hits, obviously. They want to make profits for what? For all their movies. Hence why what? Hence why what? You see what? You see A-listers in what? In all the big budget movies. I'll give you my reasons. Why? Okay, I'll give you the reasons. Why? They have star power or iconicness. I'm going to keep saying iconicness, obviously. Right? They dominate the market. The market. And the third reason, they are proven in the industry. Whereas the B-list actors are not proven in the show business. The B-list actors are proven in the television business, but they're not proven in the big budget movie show business. Hence why the companies reject them. They have star power, which is iconic, obviously. They dominate the market, and they are proven in the industry. Hence why what? The studios sign them. The studios what? Take a chance on them. The studios sign them. Because what? The A-listers are proven, obviously. Are proven. And what? The A-listers are proven the A-listers are proven, hence what? Hence the big budget studios, because they're taking huge risks in their movies to lower their risk of what? Losing money. To lower their risk of losing money, they what? They sign what? They sign the what? The big the big name A-lister. To what? To reduce the risk, obviously. Now, I'm not saying A-list actors don't have flops. A-list actors have flops too, obviously. But my point is, they're all proven in the industry. They can all deliver and make products to companies. Whereas the B-list actors are not proven. Hence why they get rejected from the big Hollywood film studios, because they're not iconic actors. They don't have star power. They're not iconic actors for the show business. Hence why the big studios are rejecting them. And hence why, to lower the risk of losing money, they signed the big name A-lister to reduce the what? To reduce the chances of losing money, obviously. Hence what? The A-listers dominate the market. That's my point. Whenever I say the A-listers dominate the market, the A-listers dominate the show business market because they're proven actors in the show business industry, in the big budget movie industry. Whereas the biggest actors are not proven in the industry. Hence why what? Hence why the big companies reject them. Hence why the studios sign them, because the A-listers are proven. To lower the risk of losing money, they sign the big name A-lister to reduce the chances of what? Of losing money, obviously. As these companies don't, Hollywood companies don't take money losses kindly. When a big film studio puts a lot of money into a movie and the movie loses money, the studios are not happy with that, because they invested a lot of money. They invest a lot of money in the movies, obviously. That's why they sign the A-list actors, because the A-list actors are what? They're the cream of the crop, the supply and demand. They're the proven actors in the industry. It's like you know how you have pro sport leagues. All the star players always get what? The most money, because what? They're the most proven players in the league. Hence why what? The teams are willing to throw them a lot of money and throw them a lot of money and even compete for what? For offers. The GMs compete for offers for big name star player, because what? They're the cream of the crop, and they want to reduce their list. They want to reduce their chances of what? Of not making the playoffs or having a losing record season. See what I'm saying? It's a perfect example there. So the big film studios, they are all money hungry, obviously. They want to make profits for all their movies. They all want to make profits. They're money hungry people, obviously. Right? Hence why, I'll say this. Hence why you see A-listers in all the big budget movies and some rising stars. Why? Because they have star power, iconicness. Iconicness is presence on the screen. You have star power, obviously. They can sell their movies. They dominate the market, and they are proven in the industry, whereas the B-list actors are not proven. The B-listers are not proven. Are not proven in the what? In the what? Show business. To what? To deliver in the box office. They are good for television, but they're not good for film. I'm going to keep saying that. They're very skilled actors, but they lack star power. They lack iconicness. Hence why they're not good for the what? For the big screen. They're good for the small screen. Because for television, you only need 700,000 to a million views. And that's if your show has 1 million views, 2 million views, that's considered a hit. 3 million views, that's considered a hit in the television world. Whereas for the movies, 2 million is, for the movies, you need to sell tens of millions of tickets to make profits for the companies. Hence why the A-listers are in big budget movies, because they're proven in the industry and they dominate the market. And the B-listers are not proven in the show business to deliver in the box office. Hence why they're going to stay in television. Hence why what? Hence why they will what? Hence why I'll say that. Hence why most of them will stay in television. Because in the future, there's going to be lucky chosen few B-list actors who become A-list actors, obviously. But I told you, only I don't know, 0.5% of these actors are going to be A-list actors in the future, whereas the rest are going to stay in television for the rest of their life. Hence why most of them, right, are going to stay in television for the rest of their life. Hope you guys can see this. I don't mean to be rude. I'm just stating the facts here, man. Most of these B-list actors you see in television, they're going to stay in television the rest of their life because they're not iconic. B-list actors are skilled, and they're B-list actors are iconic for television, but television small screen. But for the show screen, they're not iconic actors. They don't have star power. They lack star power. Hence why what? They can't sell their movies one. Hence why they're going to be in television for the rest of their life. As the B-listers are not proven in the show business to deliver in the box office. Hence why most of them are going to stay in television for the rest of their life, as only a good 0.5% of them are going to be A-list actors. Right? Hence why I keep saying Dylan O'Brien is one of the lucky chosen few from the previous rank who's willing to rise and get his own franchise and land major roles with bigger actors. He's one lucky chosen few, obviously. I'll briefly talk about Dylan O'Brien here. Okay, I'll talk about Michael B. Jordan and Dylan O'Brien, how they're the lucky ones, obviously. I'm gonna keep saying this, right? I'm gonna say it. So Michael B. Jordan, obviously. I'm spelling Michael wrong, obviously. Michael B. Jordan, obviously. I don't know, how do you spell Michael? Is it with an A? I'm spelling it wrong. Michael B. Jordan and Dylan O'Brien are obviously, they're the what? They're the lucky ones, obviously. As Michael B. Jordan, he rose, right? He rose what? So I'll say this. Michael B. Jordan, I'm spelling Michael wrong. Michael B. Jordan, right? He is a lucky one, obviously. He's one of the lucky chosen few. He's one of the lucky ones who rose from the previous rank and became an ace actor. It's very tough to rise, man. He's lucky. He's one of the lucky ones, obviously, as well as Dylan O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien is also one of the lucky ones. As I guarantee you, a lot of B-list actors try and narrow with Dylan O'Brien because he got his own franchise and he's landing major roles with bigger actors like Mark Wahlberg and Deepwater Horizon. Michael B. Jordan was a lucky chosen one who rose from the previous. I remember watching him in Friday Night Lights like 10, 11 years ago, and now look at him. He's an A-list actor. You see him in Without Remorse. You saw him in Black Panther. You saw him in Creed. He's one of the lucky chosen ones who became an A-list actor. So Michael B. Jordan is one of the what? Of the lucky chosen B-listers who rose to the A-list rank. Whereas Dylan O'Brien, his career is still rising to the A-list rank, obviously. He's a rarity, obviously. He's fucking lucky, obviously. He's rarity. Michael B. Jordan is one of the lucky chosen B-listers who rose to the A-list rank, obviously. Right? Now I'll tell you why. Why did he rise? Because what? The guy can sell his movies, obviously. Why did he rise, obviously? Okay. He did what? He did Friday Night Lights, then he did an independent movie called Fruitvale Station. So he did Fruitvale Station, obviously. Fruitvale Station was a $900,000 budget. And the movie did about $18 million. Which is a huge, that's considered a hit for an independent movie. Fruitvale Station, obviously, right? Was made for $900K, and the movie did what? Did I think about 18 million? Which is huge, which is considered a hit, obviously. Right. Hence the studios, obviously. The studios, what? They saw potential in him, obviously. The studios, they saw what? They saw what? Potential, obviously, in Michael B. Jordan. Obviously. Yeah, he had a flop with what? Fantastic Four, but his Fruitvale Station movie was made for $900K.